Hello, and welcome back to Unboxing TV. Game of Thrones has been a pretty divisive series for many fans, but one undeniable fact is its ability to produce really awesome merchandise. Today, in light of the series win at the Emmys, we'll be looking back at one of the fantastic merchandising sets spawned by the popular series, the Game of Thrones Whisky collection. I was fortunate enough to be able to get my hands on a full set, as well as Johnny Walker's Nightwalker Whisky. And so without further ado, let's take a look.
I cannot give you back your homes or restore your dead to life, but perhaps I can give you justice in the name of our king.
So for today, we'll be taking a look at the features and designs of the whiskey bottles. Sorry to disappoint, but no whiskey tasting this episode. We'll first get into the similarities between the packagings. Each bottle comes in a cylindrical metal box with a parchment coloured outer covering and a metal cap engraved with the Game of Thrones logo. The only exceptions of course would be the Nightwatch Whisky, which comes in contrasting black, and the White Walker Whisky, which comes in an entirely different packaging. But we'll get into that later. Starting at the back, you find a short write-up on the main 8 bottles, detailing the type of whiskey chosen for the specific houses, as well as the house traits which justify the choosing of that particular brand of whiskey. It can range from anything such as geographical location, house attitudes, values, and the distillation methods of the whiskey, which determine which whiskey is assigned to which house. Below that, we get to see a map of Westeros, houses on the left, as well as the corresponding whiskies on the right. Coming to the front, 7 of these bottles display house sigils, which are beautifully printed onto the covering. Usually, these sigils are simple outlines and plain in nature, but the company who designed these cases have definitely gone beyond and added shadings and shadows onto the sigils, which really bring them to life. Below that, we have a simple circular design embossed with reflective gold pieces. This simple yet elegant crowning frames the respective house names, house words, and the brand of whiskey chosen for the house. And of course, no alcohol bottle is complete without stating the alcohol content as well as the volume of the bottle. If I had to pick a favourite design out of the 7, it would have to be a tie between Greyjoy and Targaryen. There's just so much attention to detail in these two designs, from the many heads of the dragon and its scales, to the kraken's tendrils and suckers. Not to mention, these are comparatively more elaborate than the other designs. It's just amazing. Coming in close seconds would definitely be Stark and Lannister. While having a simpler design, there is a similar shaded fur pattern on both sigils, which in my opinion gives these designs more gravitas and more depth, or at least as much depth as a 2D sigil can get. In contrast, the Night's Watch bottle is all black, with reflective silver coloured words. While the design is relatively similar, the bottle does differ in the lack of a sigil on its front, displaying instead the Night's Watch oath. Now this is where I take some issue with the design, as the oath and surrounding designs are in black, which makes it difficult to see. From afar, it looks like a plain black casing, which isn't as striking as the other designs. But maybe that's what the intention was, as the Night's Watch are a band of outcasts, rarely seen or taken notice of by the southern houses. Overall though, the designs of the main 8 casings are great, and can be considered collectibles solely based on the effort and design work put into these casings. Getting to what's inside, the 8 bottles are fairly similar in size and shape. The bottles have a matte black covering around the opening of the bottle, with the Game of Thrones logo yet again, in case you mistook it for Lord of the Rings. The bottle's designs are simple, just 2 labels on back and front, with a miniaturized house sigil and details of the bottle as seen on the casing. With the Night's Watch bottle, we have an opaque glass bottle with grey labels and black words for the oath, making it much clearer to read. Also, there is a raised rune pattern surrounding the bottle which does not appear on any of the other bottles, once again setting the Night's Watch apart. Moving beyond the wall, we have the White Walker Whisky. While this bottle does not have an exterior casing, it does come with a silverish matte metallic covering around the glass bottle. It also has a Game of Thrones logo on its cap, although not an engraved one. On the back, we have a short write-up on the White Walkers, telling us how absolutely terrifying these creatures are, which doesn't really hold much weight given how easily they were defeated in the final season. But I digress. Below that, another write-up on the whiskey inside, which says the heart of the whiskey is Kadu and Clinilish. And if that sounds familiar, it's because we've already seen it on the Targaryen and Tyrell bottles. So basically, this whiskey is just more Targaryen and Tyrell whiskey. On the front of the bottle, amidst the silverish blizzard design, a white walkerized image of Johnny Walker. The design is really striking, not just in its detail, but if you look closely, it has little areas of reflective wrapping around it, which accentuates the image as well as a subtle smirk coming from the White Walker Johnny. Can I just say that I really love this parody design? I don't know what it is, but I just find this Walker Johnny an absolutely hilarious play on the iconic Johnny Walker logo. I guess the only peeve I have with this is the plastic covering around the bottle. Initially, I thought it was a real metal bottle, but after getting it, I realized that it was merely a plastic covering, which feels that it could be peeled away easily at its clearly visible seams. Overall though, it's still a fantastic looking and well designed product. Definitely a collectible. So overall, the main set goes for a price of $1,188, while the White Walker Whisky goes for $50. In total, $1,238. While this may seem like a steep price, I'm sure there are many Game of Thrones fans out there who, like me, are crazy enough to want this in their collection. And for good reason. It's a really beautiful looking set piece, which has the added bonus of coming with quality alcohol on the inside. Alright, that's all for this episode. Be sure to like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and tell us what you'd like us to unbox next down in the comments below. Also, if you like, feel free to share any Game of Thrones related thoughts, whether it be that divisive final season, when the books are going to be completed, or whether you're excited for the upcoming prequel series. Whatever your thoughts, I'm game to hear it. This is Unboxing TV, thank you very much.
Perhaps I can give you justice.